security, and safety. Okay, now let's move on naman sa factors behind global migration. First are the political factors, conflict and war. So it is one of the reasons why people migrate is because of the war and violence that they face. So they tend to live para na rin sa sarili nilang kaligtasan or safety. Next is government policies. Ito naman yung good governance. And the government can also make it easier or harder for people to move or to migrate to another country. Next is human rights violations. So dahil na they are treated unfairly or nag-violate or natatapakan ng rights nila sa country na yun, kaya sila nag-migrate. Next are the economic factors. First, job opportunities and economic development. So, dahil na sa sobrang baba ng sahod, sa mahirap maghanap ng trabaho, gano'n, nagsisik or nagpapain sila ng mas better na job opportunities sa ibang bansa. Next is labor markets. Labor markets naman, ito naman yung specific skill demands na which in ibang country, they need workers na may special skills tulad ng doctors, engineers, and maraming kami pa. That's why, na-attract nila yung mga workers na move sa country nila. Next is poverty and lack of resources. So, they really face extreme poverty na sobrang hirap na talaga. Katulad na ng poor services, gano'n. That's why, nag-migrate sila to improve their quality of life. Next are the cultural factors. First is cultural exchange and global network. First is cultural exchange and global networks. So, as culture becomes more interconnected, nagpamigrate sila kasi they want to be with their family. Gusto nila makapiin yung family nila that are already living abroad or in another country. Next is education and career growth. So, tulad ng sabi ko kanina, nagsisik sila or naghahanap sila for better job opportunities, better education in order to have better or para ma-secure yung career nila. Next is lifestyle and quality of life. So, ito naman, nagpamigrate sila para lang sa lifestyle tulad ng better healthcare, security, safety, and also na para ma-improve yung quality of life. Lastly are the social factors. Social and family reunification. So, ito naman yung mga nagmamigrate to reunite with their family, especially for those family na na-separate due to unresolved issues. Ganun. Last is the environmental factors. So, yung climate change, natural disasters, katulad, for example, na lang dito sa Philippines. Alam naman natin na sobrang init, that's why a lot of Filipinos is nagmamigrate sa ibang bansa and mostly sa Canada. So, that sums up the introduction of global migration and the factors that play a significant role on why people migrate.
So, good morning everyone. My name is Joshua. I'm reporting the type of migration. Before we proceed to the type of migration, first I want to discuss immigration versus emigration. Immigration refers to the act of moving into a new country or region. This emphasizes the destination of a country where the migrants move to another. For example, if a person moves from the Philippines to Canada to live and work, they are considered immigrants to Canada. Now let's go to immigration. Immigration refers to the act of leaving one's home to settle
Jean. Palyado. Palyado. Asian.
Sa immigration naman is to
Escolyado.
Hindi,
no.
If one of country or
Hindi.
umalis sa kanya original na bansa or lumipat sa ibang bansa para gawin sa ibang bansa. Now, let's proceed to the migration. We have about 8 types of migration. The internal migration, general migration, voluntary migration, forced migration, labor migration, circular, and return. First, we will discuss the internal. Internal migration is country from rural to urban. From rural to urban, kaya like sa province to city. Ito na siya sa economic at sa opportunity education. Like dito sa atin, kung gusto mo maghanap ng trabaho, siyempre makakapano dito sa urban, rural. So, ilipat ka sa urban. Mas malak na maghanap ka, mas malak na. At mas maghanap better lifespan mo doon. Tapos, yes. Maghanap ka doon ng work and to improve TV condition. Yun ang internal migration. Internal migration is to migrate to rural to urban countries like China and India. And now let's proceed to international or external migration. International migration is the movement of people across national borders, either voluntary or involuntary. This migration is driven by various factors such as economic opportunities, political, or conflicts. Like sa nangyayari sa Syria na dahil sa conflicts doon, nagkakaroon sila ng international migration or the voluntary movement. The voluntary umalis sa kanilang bansa because of the conflict in Syria. Pwede natin may yes. The next example, one example for this is the Central America to United States. Like, napapansin naman natin na yung mga Mexico or the Central people from the America trying to move to the United States because of the opportunity and the economic and the security of security given to them. So that's why they are considered as international migration. Next is voluntary migration. Voluntary migration that occurs when individuals choose to move or in pursuit of better job opportunities, education or improve living standards. Voluntary migration migrate for work, study, or for a better life. For example is, if you want to bigla na lang tumakan, pwede ka lang pumunta sa US. If you want to makakita ka niya isang mga sa'yo na forced migration that offers due to involuntary circumstances such as disaster, Syria na dahil continuous pa rin ang conflict or warfare sa Syria, they're seeking or assigning to their neighbor country or for their people to be safe or para maiwas nila sa gulo na nangyari sa Syria. Yun naman ang forced migration. Next is the labor migration. Labor migration, movement of people primarily from birth purposes into sectors of agriculture, construction, domestic workers, and healthcare. Labor migration is common in both voluntary methods and forced context. An example of this is the migration of Filipino workers the migration of people workers to countries like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and UAE for construction or healthcare jobs. Alam naman natin sa UAE, Saudi Arabia, or Dubai is inaano nila masabi sila sa construction worker basta ano nila kumuha sa Pilipinas din ng mga nagtatrabaho. And next is seasonal migration. Seasonal migration agriculture or tourism. Seasonal migration may move temporarily to different regions based on seasonal demands or for example, this is migration from farm workers moving seasonally between countries to harvest crops. Yes. Next is circular migration. Circular migration are repeated movement back and forth between countries often for a labor opportunity, spend several months in the one country and later after several months he will also move to another country. Example is migrant a part of agriculture worker who will return to their home country after harvest season. After harvest season and is sa ulan na napuntahan na country.
Ito yung tinatawag natin na Department of Migrants Workers or tinatawag natin na DMW. Ito yung nabuo ito sa Duterte tama yan. Very good. At nabuo ito sa Duterte administration. Ang tungkol nito is gamanan yung pagkulang na OEA, which is OEA, Philippine Overseas Employment Administration. Ang kinakontrol nito yung flow ng recruitment or employment ng mga OFWs natin sa ibang bansa. And then the OWA, Overseas Workers Welfare Administration. Ito naman yung nagbibigay ng social benefits, cash assistance, and reintegration program para sa ating mga OFWs. Hindi, Livelihood and Development Assistance Program or LDAP. Ito naman yung nagbibigay ng financial grants para sa mga pamilya dito sa pamilya ng mga OFW dito sa Pilipinas na gustong mag-negosyo. And then last, the Enterprise Development Loan Program. Ito naman yung kung makikita nyo sa pangalan is loan. Ito yung nagbibigay na or nag-aalok ng pangutang sa pamilya ng mga Pilipino kung gusto nila na magkaroon ng negosyo. Yun lang.
Thank you for everyone there discussing the positive and negative impacts of becoming an OFW. So the first one is unemployment is reduced and better job. So ito yung positive impacts. So the first one is unemployment is reduced and better job opportunities, hence labor market and expansion. So aware naman tayo na dito sa Pilipinas is napakahirap talaga maghanap ng trabaho. Whether you are a college graduate from a degree and especially na doon sa mga blue-collar jobs. And so, mananatilihan ng mga Pilipino equal here in the Philippines. Kaya, mas pinipigilan lang nila na lumipat sa ibang bansa kung na lang sila magtrabaho. And dahil din sa opportunity ng maging OFW sila mas tumataas yung economy ng Philippines. Next is it improves the quality of people's life. So yung mga OFW na nakakapagtrabaho sa ibang bansa is nag-improve yung buhay nila kasi susustentahan na nila yung mga pamilya nila and nakakapagpagawa na sila ng mga houses. And may article din na na-research ako na a domestic helper in Hong Kong was able to build a small business in the Philippines. So, dahil sa pera na nakukuha niya sa pagiging OFW is nag-invest siya sa small business para mabalik yung pera niya. And if ever na nag-vacation siya during his nag-vacation siya as an OFW is may pinagbubuhanan ka rin sa kanyang pera. Next is that it improves the people's social life as they learn about new cultures, customs, and language which helps them improve brotherhood among people. So, yung mga OFW is parang na-adapt na nila yung mga iba't ibang cultures doon and yung mga buhay nila doon sa country na napili nilang pagtrabuhuan. And some countries kasi is nire-require talaga na pag-aralan nila yung language nila. Like in Korea is kailangan talaga pag-aralan nila yung language na Korean daw para makapag-abroad doon. Next is skilled and unskilled workers.